Oh my, I have no idea what that's about. That booty is- no idea what that's bum 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 bum. Bum 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 Swizz Beatz theme song from Diddy Kong Racing, Nintendo 64. I do not own any rights or anything to this music. Alright. I gotta do the usual setup for Chaos Theory, and then I'll be right on in there. I gotta recomplete the end of the last mission too. I forgot all about that. No, I can skip the cargo ship. Nice.
Information you recovered in Peru? Fisher, we just pulled up some...
Alright. Excuse me. Forgot to reset up the controller. Alright. All should be set up. And bada bing. Bada boom. Bada ba ba ba. And we are in. Let's see if chat works. I'd assume not. Oh, there's the box. It's too far to the right, but there is box. There's no chat in box, but
Continuous last dry dock report for the Maria Narcissa. We have a newly installed central alarm system.
Don't tell me. 3 alarms and the mission is over.
Of course not. This is no video game, Fisher. You don't want the whole place alerted to your presence. Keep it under control.
so what you just heard there is in the last Splinter Cell games, especially the first one that I played, it was generally 3 alarms and then the mission ended. They were making a kind of joke about their previous games there. Very funny. How this game works alarm-wise, for the most part, is there are 3 stages of alarm. One, it's just lack security. You'll have guards sleeping, effing off in a corner, taking leaks, not really paying attention, anything like that. Level 2, everybody will be up. There will be an increase of patrols. Everybody will be, on alert. Stage 3, they generally get higher grade equipment. They get helmets on and a whole bunch of other things. And the farther you get into the game, the more devastating level 3 alerts are. So like this map in particular, level 1 just kind of wakes everybody up. Or level 1, everybody's, it's nighttime, they're sleeping, they're lax, they're done for the day. Level 2, most of the guards will start going on just designated patrols, and then level 3, everybody goes on patrols and everything stacks up. They are a lot more alert and all of that in level 3, so you can't get away with some of the shenanigans you do with level 2 or 1. Level 1, you can throw a can right in front of a guy and they'll question it. Level 3, you throw a can in front of the guy, they're going to turn and shoot you, because they're already going to be alerted to anything that's unnatural. You can move, or you can do a lot less in level 3. If you pick Assault, if I remember everything correctly, I don't know if it's for this mission, but I know in the future, you get armor-piercing bullets. So if you do go to level 3, you can just shoot through their helmets and things like that and continue on. Stealth-wise, if you go to level 3, the only thing you can use is gadgets and, well, stealth to get around people at level 3. You can still get, interrogation, knockouts, grabs, things like that, so there is ways to work past it. However, if you're running stealth, you really don't want to hit that level 3 alarm. It's going to cause a lot of issues for you. That is one of the nice changes. Some missions, if you get an alarm, like any other stealth game, they have that one annoying mission to where, you hit an alarm at a particular part, you're going to fail the mission. Or if you get a level 3 alarm at a particular part, you're going to fail the mission. If the building goes into lockdown or something like that at level 3. For the most part, like I said, this is I guess it's a non-linear game. It's an open world linear game, because you have to get to the objectives and there is a designated path, but you can get to that path a lot of ways. There is a lot of ways to get to particular paths. I'll probably be taking the most direct path because that's generally where the content is. You miss out on all the secrets and funny one-liners and things you can do like that, unfortunately. But it will generally involve me with the most patrols and things like that because I'm taking the most obvious route and not trying to be super stealthy. I think that's really all I gotta say. Last time we went and tried to rescue one of the boys that got captured, and he was tortured to death by electrocution. We dropped his body, went, got all the information on who did it and where they went, and now we are in pursuit of that particular individual. And that's where we are now, on the boat. So let's begin.
That's their alarm system, Fisher. I'm warned.
Also, there's one other difference I would like to explain between that game and this game. Guards nowadays, or in this game, are equipped with radios. Some are equipped with radios, some aren't equipped with radios. So you should make sure, this situation, I grabbed one of his friends, he was talking to him and things like that. You gotta ensure not to interrupt conversations or do anything shady or spook anybody in the wrong context, or they will cause an alert. What happened there is those two were in the middle of a conversation. It had just started, and I grabbed him before the other guy replied back or anything like that. If you wait long enough with an 100% stealth, that guy actually walks over there, and I think he takes a leak or something off the side. He does something. Maybe he just stands there for an abnormal number of time. And then when the other guy turns his back, you can grab him. After that, there really aren't any conversations that to be had unless the guy's still standing. Now, if there's two guys in conversation and you take one guy out, the other guy's going to get instantly suspicious, turn towards the guy he was talking to, and generally they either run over or they'll spot you because now they're alerted to where you are. And things happen that way. So keep in mind that things are kind of up the ante nowadays. If they don't have a radio, they'll run to an alarm and they'll cause it. But if they do have a radio, it's an instantaneous alarm. There's no calling it in or anything like that. They essentially have an alarm button on their sleeve. They just touch it, boom, alarm instantly goes off, and you're already to the next phase. I'm gonna actually restart the mission, but yeah, it's that quick.
Information.
And it froze or crashed, which means I have to reset everything again. Should have thought about that before I restarted the mission. So why it crashes when I restart is because of the dummy controller that I have. So when it restarts, it's essentially, for only a split second, jumping me back, or closing it, well, not closing out of the game, but minimizing the game, and then remaximizing the game when I restart a mission to reset everything. It flashes on my screen when I restart. And like I mentioned in the last video, anytime that I restart, or not restart, anytime I minimize or go back to desktop while I'm playing this game, it crashes because of the controller setup that I have. Which is through Steam, by the way. So that's why that keeps crashes in between missions and things like that, because it for a very, very split second goes back to desktop. You get like a flash when you restart, and then it all resets. I don't know if there's any patches to fix that, but I mean, if it comes down to it, I just won't restart missions anymore. It happens sometimes at the end of missions too, after I complete them, because when a mission's complete, it goes to a it's almost like a different slide instead of a different screen. When it transitions between that screen, it causes that same issue. So just keep in mind that probably at the end of missions, which I mean is going to be the end of the video anyway, it's probably going to crash. And if I ever restart or anything like that, it's going to crash. I have to quick load anytime something like that happens. I can load, go to missions, go to cargo ship. So that's where we're at.
Information you.
Loadout, stealth, accept. Now I'm gonna drop a quick save. So yeah, just keep that in mind if you do want to try playing this game or anything like that. Go back. Actually, I gotta switch the controller back over, and I'll show you. Yeah, if you want to deal with all of this, you just gotta kind of remember that, hey, if something minimizes or takes you back to your desktop, if your desktop ever pops over this game, it's going to break the game. Period. Go back to scene, go back to game, and we're back in it.
We just pulled up Celestinia's last dry dock report for the Maria Narcissa. They have a newly installed central alarm system.
Don't tell me. 3 alarms and the mission is over?
Of course not. This is no video game, Fisher. But you don't want the whole place alerted to your presence. Keep it under control.
If you notice, the square is fairly high right now because I'm out near the open sea and it's very turreted waters. I can move faster than I usually would. Sit your ass down.
The alarm system, Fisher. I'm warning you. Be careful.
That was a shotgun. I need to reload.
Don't tell me. 3 alarms and the mission is over?
Of course not. This is no video game, Fisher. But you don't want the whole place alerted to your presence. it under control.
There we go. I stopped them before they initiated any kind of conversation.
What are you doing? Nice night. Wait. What's the roster? How many men aboard?
Total? There is 36 of us, I think. But that's including Lacerda and a couple of neat-looking mercenaries he brought with him.
Where's Lacerda now?
He was just here 20 minutes ago, complaining about his quarters. He said he wanted another room. You won't find Lacerda where there is work to be done.
Okay. I can also just sneak down that way. I don't think I've ever actually went that way, to be honest with you. I've always taken that guy out and went this way. So I guess I should try going this way. Even in my 100% stealth, I just snuck around all of them using noisemakers and things like that. Again, this is a protected... Let's reset that first. There we go. This is a protected light, so if I try to use that on that... Oh, no! It works on that particular light. Some protected lights it don't work on. Apparently some it does. My memory fails me. That. It's not shootable, but I can use that on it. Okay. Learn something new. I cannot go through this door, so looks like we're going up here. It's very hard to walk super slow with this controller, by the way. My dead zone is so high, so I only have a little bit of an area where Sam can actually move. So if it crashes again, I might just use the mouse just so I actually can control my speed. This game, pressing yourself up against walls and things like that will decrease your stealth profile by a decent amount, unlike the other games. Let's see, if I let go of wall, plus if I'm on wall, it kind of changes. I don't know where this leads. Well, what's the point of going this way then? Like I said, I've never actually looked this way to see where it led to. I see, and it gets you around them. Interesting. I can just tap this. And continue on. Again, it's level 1. No alarms were raised, so this guy's still sleeping. Nobody's awake. Nobody's on any designated patrols. It's not high security time. Now, the thing about sleeping people is they're not necessarily sleeping. Or when they're napping, they're not necessarily fully napping. Sometimes you can do this, sometimes you can't. Like, I'm gonna walk blatantly in front of this guy. He might wake up, he might not. Depends on the mood that the game's in. And this guy in particular is unresponsive. Some people that you walk in front of are in, I guess, like a semi-sleep environment or something like that, or some type of situation. The way you really can't do anything to them, and if you get close to them, they instantly wake up and cause problems. I can shoot this light, so I might as well just knock this guy out anyway. Nobody comes down here. shoot that out the hot body. So you can see through doors with thermal for the most part. However, this is a metal door. You ain't gonna be able to actually shoot through it. I love the music for this game. I don't remember if they do check-ins all the time. Well, I mean, I guess when you get to level 3 they might, but I don't think they do check-ins all the time. If you take out somebody that has a radio, I don't think they're gonna say, "Hey, dude, check in," and then everybody's gonna look for them. I don't think that's a thing, at least not yet. Later on in the game, maybe. This.
It looks like Lacerda is spreading around his newfound wealth.
God, I hate this part. I don't remember where it's at.
You want me to scan any more weapons crates?
Better idea. Plant tracking devices on them, and we can see who they end up getting delivered to.
Okay.
So here I'm looking for a particular box that has a tag on it, and I don't remember where it is. This is it down here, right? No. No. Excuse my little trip into sanity right here. First time I did this, I was walking around stealthily and afraid that I was gonna get caught if I ran around. Yeah. That's the way in. This is familiar. I know you can take this way. And this leads to the box. If I'm not... Yeah. You can then sneak through this side. I thought you climbed up something and then the box was there. But it's not this one. I remember going through the little tunnel and then climbing up something. And then it just being right there. Nope. 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 Can't get up there. Ah, I thought that was another Splinter cell. I was like, issues? Oh, God. As soon as I walked into this room, I knew it was going to be an issue. It is just a walk up to, right? I'm not supposed to be actually scanning. Oh, I gotta get the bill of lading. That's what I'm looking for. That's what's in this room. Sure it's not that one? Every goddamn time I get lost on this part. Oh my god, I'm gonna drive myself crazy. And it doesn't activate as soon as you touch it. Like if you walk up to something and then you look at it and you're like passing by it, it don't show up as soon as you stop on it. You gotta kind of sit there for a second for it to pop up. So you can't just speed run find it. Very cleverly designed to make you actually do a decent job. Yeah.
Good job, Sam.
Yeah.
That's the first crate. Keep your eyes peeled for any more.
Alright.
There's the second level. That's what I remember. When I remember going through something and then climbing something, you go through this path. And then you climb up. After getting through the entire path. I never finished the path, so there you go. And I fell.
Fisher, we just intercepted a radio call from the Maria Narcissa. She's reporting a hull leak and asking for an escort.
The ship is sinking.
No, but apparently several compartments are flooded. You'll need to activate the bilge in the forward machine room to access all the cargo holds.
Is it a primary objective? It is. Oh god. I gotta find the freaking bill of lading. I don't remember where it is in this pile of crates. My eyes. That's not it. That's not it. You were really slow about taking that night vision off, weren't you, Sam? That was a big move. I think my eyes literally bled. This is the bilge room. So yeah, there's nothing past that. Well, the corridor to the bilge room. I think there was a way to... Yeah, I was ready to say, I think you could use your EMF vision actually here to locate everything, now that I think about it. I've already marked this, so that's fine. Let me go back to the other room. Whoops, my fault, Sam. You can see the weapons in those. If I try to leave, they generally tell you, hey, you forgot something, or go back. So, I'm gonna try to leave the area and see if they force me to come back. Well, suggest that I go back. Just open the door. We
Fisher, those
sinking.
compartments are flooded. You need to activate the emergency bilge pump to drain.
I'm curious. Can I flood this? No. Sam's like, nah, brother. Oh yeah, this guy. Doesn't even know what's coming for him.
Noisy down here.
Oh, my!
Makes it easy to sneak up on people. What is this hole?
The auxiliary pump is here. There are some flooded compartments. The pump should be able to drain them.
Thanks for the information.
I don't want to die.
I'm not gonna end you. You're just an engineer. Another thing, there are a lot of crawl spaces on the ground, up in the air, behind things. There's a lot of hidden crawl spaces.
There should be a large pump in here that you can use to drain the forward cargo hold.
I'll find it.
Don't know how this stupid thing works.
1, 2.
Captain Diego says hurry up or we'll sink. Well, if I do it wrong, we might sink faster. Then don't do it wrong.
I missed.
Easy for you to say.
What was that?
Hey! I do not think it's going to come out.
Man, this is bad. Keep it together. Keep it together. Who did this?
I can distract him off of that. Don't need you to wake him up just yet.
Good job. That'll drain the flooded compartments. Now you can search for the bill of lading attached to
There we
Lacerda
go.
shipments.
All right.
I wish I was home.
You heard me. Gotcha. This weird overlay that you hear is not a glitch. By the way, I'm just gonna let you know. It sounds real scuffed, but nope. The little overlay sound, it's not a glitch. That's part of the game. I'm gonna go back to the other room. If it even lets me. It does. Try things that I've never tried before. I'm gonna try to go all the way back. Because I don't remember going all the way back. Maybe I do this every time, and it's just pointless. Both areas probably lead to the same place. That door there and that other door. You just get rewarded. And it's easier if you go back this way. But let's find out. Nope. Yeah, this is where the bill of lading is.
I'm betting that Lacerda's shipping container is somewhere in this compartment. The bill of lading should be mounted on the side.
I'll have a look around.
Okay. I just broke all of my shiz. Jesus Christ. My eyes. Climb. Thank you, sir. Obviously, it's this huge box here.
Good work, Sam. It looks like whoever delivered these arms to Lacerda was operating through a proxy.
Who?
You can even see.
Mercantil Costa Fuerza Seguridad de Panama.
Offshore bankers?
Yeah, the cigar-chomping kind.
Great. I love bureaucrats.
You still need to recover the transit ledgers so we can figure out who else Lacerda is dealing with. Try the ship's office. They should have that information.
Nice. So you can see the weapons through the box with thermal vision, and if you're on the correct side of the box, you can see it EMF-wise. So there's multiple ways to actually find that particular thing you're looking for. In this game, if you use your visions and all your tools the correct way, you don't have to ever worry about getting lost or having issues, to be honest with you. I'm not gonna go get the extra small box. I'm pretty sure that's an opportunity objective, and I ain't about that life right now. Yeah, so there's that room I was just in. This room leads to the bill of lading, which then leads here. That's an issue. I missed! He's down. I beg to differ. I hit that. There's a pathway that leads down below these catacombs where you can just walk to the end. Again, its game is full. I didn't want to close that. I wanted to use the medkit. This game is full of different ways to do things. And you might be thinking, you know, the occasional times I get near walls, the camera goes above Sam's head like this. This is not a glitch. This is by design. And it helps out a lot throughout the game that happens, and it doesn't stay right along his back. Because you can always return camera back down by pulling out your weapon or hiding alongside a wall, things like this. The camera going up is a very, very positive thing. It's not a glitch. I've already cleared the area, but why not? 100% stealth walkthrough. You can just jump down in here. You can make a fairly decent amount of sound, and you just want to go on through this area. Go. And this will lead you on past these guards that are searching the area. As soon as they walk by, you can then climb out this side right here and continue on.
Sensors in your suit are detecting a lot of fumes down there.
Yeah, I can smell it. Some kind of gas leak.
Could be enough to be a serious explosive hazard. We can't have any firing in the engine room.
Go.
Wonderful.
And don't expect the enemy to be smart enough to realize that. They might still open fire on you if they see you.
I get the message. I'll be discreet.
Here is sort of what I was talking about pseudo stealth sections. If you get caught, it's not an instant mission failure. However, if you get caught and they shoot, the entire room blows up, which I guess I can show you what happens. You walk in here and you go, instantaneously everything blows up and you explode. Not a wise thing to do. I also think I want to remap my quick load button to F6 instead, because it is very awkward trying to find that. And if I don't hit F6 in time, well, we go back to the whole the game's gonna crash. So I'm gonna save that on something that I know. Can I map this to my home button too? No. That's fine. Get through this door before, well, hop up here. Knock him out. This is why I went needlessly shooting off sticky shockers, because they are one of the most important gadgets. And you might be thinking, hey Q, it's a sticky shocker, which is going to cause a spark and whatnot. It does. Too realistic game.
What's that down there?
The launcher. When you shoot something, the CO2 spark from that causes an explosion. I don't think the flashbang actually does. Nope, it does. That must have been updated, because the flashbang I know used to not, and it made no sense that it didn't. So this particular area is essentially gadgetless, excuse me, gadgetless, and not 100% stealth, but gadgetless stealth.
What's going on down there?
You can do that to draw him out. He walks by.
Who's been leaving the doors wide open?
And they are they notice everything in this game. If something is out of place, they will notice it. As you can see, the door got this guard's attention. A light flickering got the guard's attention. If you throw something, any noises, everything. This is one of the more realistic games. If I don't do this right, he's going to shoot. That's the only issue here. There we go. There's two out. I actually vaguely remember this, and there actually is a way to get through all of this very cheekily. Yeah, something like this. Good, we know where the gas leak's coming from. So it's like, I vaguely remember that there's like a speedrun strat for this room. And you can cut across these. I should knock him out, but I'll be long gone by the time he notices. And then you can sneak through that. Yep. I think he noticed his friend's bodies. So that might be an alarm. Might not. You never know.
Sam, you're near the ship's office. This deck, starboard side.
I'll find the transit ledgers there.
That's where they should be keeping them.
If I didn't say it before, Lambert's in control of the operation, Grimm is intelligence, Redding is gadgets and crap like that, and, well, Sam's ground. All the groundwork in the world. Make sure, yeah, exactly. You can also do this. There is a crawl space right there that you can get around everybody. Just 2 of them. You see that little dynamic movement? How they got around each other there? Why would you activate the computer and not grab the guy? God dang it. I'm so angry. I'm gonna leave this door open and lure him out using that. Alright, he's walking this way. I used to hide into this crawl space for the guy to pass, and then I used to grab him. That used to be the plan.
That's their alarm system, Fisher.
That's another new thing that I forgot about, is enemies have flashlights and flares too. So if you do darken an area, the devs are like, okay, we're tired of people just shooting out every light and then moving on. So they incorporated flashlight and flares and other equipment that counters the darkness. Which now I remember why I used to always hide in the crawl space. Now, here you can't turn to the right or anything like that. Crawl spaces are scripted for you to only be able to go the correct way. So there's no guesstimation or going into other rooms using crawl spaces. Yeah, he dropped the flare. There's one guy sitting there. I can't turn, but I can see in those particular rooms. And that extra intel of just looking is worthwhile too. And here I am on the other side of all of that. See if I can get a computer code or something from this guy.
The transit ledgers.
Why are you searching cabinets, my dude? She shouldn't have been able to see me, but okay. Nope.
The happier I'll be.
Nope. Oh, rip security code. Email from Hugo Lacerda. And then allegations of the SDF and their involvement in other things. You can also, computer screens do produce light, so you can turn those off like that manually, as with light switches and all kinds of other things. If it's like this, you can attempt to try or a hack.
They say Lacerda's container is full of sugarcane and coconuts from a man named Nikaryakov in Malaysia.
Makaryakov. I remember that name.
Nikaryakov is a code name that Philippine drug dealers use to indicate arms shipments.
So instead of nuts from Malaysia, Lacerda got guns from an imaginary Russian?
Exactly. Now why don't you go find out where Lacerda is hiding?
The captain probably knows where he is.
Good idea. Why don't you head to the bridge and ask?
When it comes to computer screens that are buggy and things like that, it's there that kind of the devs are trying to pull your attention to it. So, in this case, it's Transit Ledger. So, I mean, like, it's like any other dev of this area, or of this era. They use light sources as sort of a pseudo guide, you know. They use screwed up computer screens and glitches in the matrices and things like that to guide you without telling you where to go. All other kinds of, see if I can find anything in here. No. You can get that information either way, by the way. You can look at the computer and get the information for that, or you can check the filing cabinet to get information for that. There are sometimes multiple ways to complete the same objective. Sometimes. I'm gonna optic cable this because I don't think I need to go in this room. There's a computer. Why not? Email about the engine room that tells you about a gas leak. If you would have went in from the other side of the ship, you would be coming in through this way. First aid kit. And there's a guy in there.
Definitely something not right about this.
What was that? I guess it's nothing.
I was going to bash the door, but he got to touch the handle beforehand. That's that they get precedence on the bash option. If you don't bash quick enough, then they automatically take precedence. And if you paid attention, my entire screen, or my options up there, completely went black. And when they're black, that means you can't do anything or any of those particular options. Because he grabbed onto the door handle and all of that, I lost all my options because I wasn't fast enough.
Yeah, baby.
Medkits do have multiple uses in easy. I think they only have like one use. Maybe 2 uses. In medium, and then 1 use in hard. I already looked at this. So all of these paths diverge, depending on which way that you go during this. There are other options that you can go. As you can see, the gas leak email and all of that's right there, as per lore's sake, which leads all the way back to the gas room, which leads back to the other paths. I'll just thermal the door. Yeah, I don't need to optic cable it. I could probably be convinced to play this game a lot more stealthier if my controller actually allowed me to move a little bit slower. Because of the dead zone, I can move this slow, then if I push it up anymore, it immediately goes to that. There's no in between. It's either slow or fast. Slow or fast. Now I can adjust everything by using my mouse and force it to slow down or speed up using the mouse so I can get this medium. But I have to take my hand off one of the sticks to make that work. But the reason why I'm having trouble with the input is because I don't want to use the mouse to change speed. I want to be able to go slow, and as I push, go a little bit faster, as opposed to only getting one speed unless I roll the mouse. We came from there, yeah? Yeah. Oh, okay. Said I'm not trying to do any of the alternative objectives or anything like that. At least not yet. If I remember correctly, no. You can't do the, they must have patched this, because you used to be able to hop up there, then hop up there. To do everything a little bit quicker.
Am I seeing things?
Them and their goddamn flares.
That doesn't sound good. Weeks before you can even run. It might not even matter. And I thought this ship was dangerous.
How are you right there? Now, keep in mind that
That's their alarm system, Fisher. I'm
That's only
warning you.
stage one.
Be careful.
what a shot. I got shot from the side here, though. Now, the one thing that is interesting by this game is distance does matter per sound. Just because... Did you just pick him back up? I missed.
Hey! Come out!
Come on, walk into it.
Whoa, I'm really not happy about this.
You're just gonna wake him back up.
Someone whistling.
So just because you go over the noise bar doesn't mean they're necessarily gonna hear you from a specific distance. That's if you're like right up on them. Like if I'm moving here, or even if I'm running and the guys are a fair distance away, they won't hear this. To get to the bridge, you have to go back inside the boat and climb up. I do remember that much. The stealthy way is to go in through that, one of those doors down that big stairway that I climbed up, and then go through the boat, and then find the stairway, and then crawl up, and do a whole bunch of other jazz. That's the stealth way. It takes a while. Is there anything I can access here?
So Lacerda is holed up in the captain's quarters.
Where's that?
Third deck, port side. The two interior stairwells are the only access to that deck.
Nice. And like I said, the only way to get there is to go down through the deck. You go the one below, like the farthest one below, to do it stealthily. If you have the assault pack, you just need to go down like one. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to bash that. I mean, he shot me in the booty. This is before I raised the alarm. Good enough. As you should hear something. I'm running. Come on. Go, 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 go.
The Americans say they will have to scrap a shuttle launch if they want to save the astronauts on the ISS. It's that bad. It's worse. They say that since the wreckage of the first shuttle is still attached to the docking nodule, a crew will need to space one to the rescue.
This is killing me. I gotta adjust my scroll wheel. Go. And we got all the time in the world to sneak up on this guy. Since I got time before I grab him, notice when Sam walks, he keeps his hand right about where his pistol is, so he can grab that at any time to do what he needs to do. He keeps his other hand out, to where when he grabs somebody, he can immediately grab over their shoulder, grab their arm, and then pull knife, or pull pistol, or pull whatever he needs to grab. Watch it in action. Boom. Knock this guy out. It's one less problem. Go ahead and grab the information.
So Lacerda is holed up in the captain's quarters.
Where's that?
Third deck, port side. The two interior stairwells are the only access to that deck.
And I did this part a lot faster. Well, the first time, I just want to kind of go in like a noob and just run around and do whatever. If I ever have to replay parts, I will eventually just get tired of it and do it the right, fast and efficient way. It'll happen. I have to adjust my scroll wheel. Now I can move this speed, or the regular speed.
It wasn't just mine. Pretty sure. Did you hear that? Of course you heard. Something's going down.
Wasn't expecting you to be there. Bet you won't open that door.
Hey! Come out! I do not think he's going to come out. So, you want to go in and look for him? He's going to come out. So, you want to look for him?
Open the door. This guy. I was going to show you the wall pull mechanic, but it's not really, it's a wall pull tack, but get real slow up to this door. So they have all the ears. Open this, it should freak them out.
Told you not to leave this door open. I didn't leave it open. I'll kick your ass! I'm bleeding here! There he is! Fire!
That's their alarm system, Fisher.
Ow.
I'm warning you. Be careful.
That's unfortunate. Close the door first. I missed every goddamn bullet. Remember, close doors behind you if you have bodies in rooms. They will notice doors that are open. That's one thing I think I forgot to do, but I was never penalized for.
Something moved down there.
I really just want this guy to open up this door so I can get a sticky camera there and knock them out. But he doesn't want to open this door, and it's annoying. I might go down a level and just enter in from that way. Actually, I might have to go down that far anyway. Here's the map, by the way, that I was talking about. Map-wise, it shows clearly where the objectives are. It shows all the doors, the rooms. It even shows crawl spaces if you zoom in far enough for the particular area. You can click on particular things. This will show you the general area that you were in. This will show you the particular thing or structure that you're in that's connecting. So for instance, this shows just the entire level. It shows only the level that the objective's on. It's this right here. Goes up. And then all of this is that level. This shows you anything that's connected to that level. So this is showing that I can get from here to here using whatever this is. Which, I mean, that's extraction. But you can use that from there to there to get to those two connecting areas. These two areas are connecting, and then this entire stairway is connecting. You click 3, it shows the entire map. It shows everything. It's very good to use, especially when you're lost. It tells you your triggered alarms. This box is the objective or where you're going. If I go out and go back in, well, it's supposed to pop on the side of the stairway that you're on, but I'm not on this side of the stairway. Interesting. Boom, 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 boom. Who left this door open? Oh, I got sticky shockers for days. You can get one. You can get one. Well, I ain't gonna be finding out which cabin nobody's in. Wait, I got the intel at that computer, correct? Well, I guess it just says that he's in the captain's quarters. It doesn't say exactly which cabin. And remember, she said that you can only get to those particular floors through the stairways from the inside. This is what she meant. I don't think this is copyrighted music, but just wait for that's over. Search through here, nobody in here. Very good spots to hide at, and even better spots to hide bodies. That doesn't mean start another song, guy. Jesus Christ. I appreciate the noise masking, though, but come on, bro. Regularly playing, of course, you'll leave the radio so you can just technically just run through the majority of this area. That guy was a jamming, though. There's the stairway. I'm gonna make sure there's nobody else here because I don't want to increase my alarm.
Never in my life have I been
There's
so
your soda.
insulted.
I don't see why you're so upset. You got your past inspection. You think it's easy to get through the canal zone with all the crackdowns these days?
I don't care if it's hard. You think my job is easy? No. But this insult, forcing me to bribe an inspector out of my own pocket.
Fine.
Mark my words. I'll make him pay double, or my name is not...
Google the soda. He has his fit. Everybody gets dismissed. Hopefully a guy walks in here. So I can knock them out.
What happened to the lights?
Uh-huh. Curtain. Please.
Nothing.
What do you mean nothing?
Are you hearing things? Good job, Fisher. Not
I'll
good.
inform the
Let's
Joint
just
Chiefs
stay
that
calm.
Lacerda is no longer a threat. Primary objectives are completed. You can
What was
extract
that?
you whenever you're
I think
ready.
I saw it too. I don't
God
like
dang
this.
it. No, I didn't want to save.
Damn! We're running out of guys here.
Oh, by the way, no matter what, it's going to be a lethal shot. If your objective says to eliminate so and so, and you shoot them in the head or anything like that, it's going to count as lethal. There's only one particular case that I can remember. If you knock this particular individual out, it actually makes you go and actually put a bullet in his head. But for the most part, even if it says eliminate, if you do a non-lethal elimination, it's also a lethal elimination. It forces you to. That guy is pretty funny when you interrogate him. And that's what I was going to do, but whoops. Yeah. That's extraction like I figured. I gotta get all the way back up to the top, go around the side, go all the way down, and then there's abstraction. Since I technically triggered 0 alarms, I can use the closer extraction and I don't have to do anything crazy.
Are you hearing things? Yeah. Not good. All right. I'll admit it. I'm scared.
He's not getting me that easily.
Splash. That's just to ensure that I get no alarms after I leave this particular area. I do encourage you to go look up the interrogation video of Hugo Lacerda. Very funny. For those of you who don't, spoiler, pause the video, then skip ahead about 10 seconds. I'm pretty sure he pisses himself during the interrogation, and it's actually completely and totally hilarious.
What are you up to?
What am I up to? What are you up to? Forgot I did this part, No. Pull this out and move. Hop down here.
Thank God, there's nothing.
I don't remember the slide button, so I'm not going to click anything there, because I'll fall to my death. And the extraction is just right down there.
All I smell is burning oil and vomit.
Come on. Before you know, some jungle.
Never cared for that jungle.
3 people.
Like getting eaten by an alligator on a ship.
Now that I think about it, yeah. It's not actually all the way down here. It's up that other ladder that I looked at. I looked at it and I was like, that's the end, right? And then I was like, nah, I'm gonna hop down anyway. The boat's right here, by the way. That's a boat. You jump into it and you extract by shooting yourself off. There's no reason for me to jump down. As soon as I did it, I instantly realized, hey, the first time I played this game, I did that too. And I walked around looking for the extraction a long time before I eventually looked up, and I was like, oh. Pinch. The small little crates. Again, I did not do the opportunity objective, but I did find the Panamanian contract, which was an invisible guy using a fake name. And then I completed all the main statistics, 65%. I got identified as an intruder 3 times, but no alarms were triggered. Again, as long as you don't alert somebody who has a radio, it's not going to be an instantaneous alarm. So you just need to keep in mind, listen for sounds, use your EMF vision on some, etc., etc. And if they have a radio on them, you know, you need to take them out first. The other people have to physically run to an alarm to trigger them. 2 bodies found. Didn't trigger an alarm because, well, that was Lacerda's body. And in these particular circumstances, it doesn't really matter. He's kind of a prick. And that was his personal bodyguards that found the bodies, not the actual soldiers that were stationed on the boat. It's 2 different entities there. Lacerda and his 2 or 3 personal guards, and then the actual people that are guarding the actual boat. So that's why there was no alarms there. Killed 3 enemies, knocked out 16, and I was seen 3 times as an intruder. That gives you 65%. I lost points for every single, for every single person I killed. I lost a decent amount of points for. Being identified as an intruder, I lost sort of a little bit of points for. which is significant. Bodies being found, again, those were the main things that I lost a lot of points on. I lost, let's see, 35 points in particular. I probably lost maybe 2% out of the all the enemies being knocked out, and the rest of that came from the being identified as traitor and bodies found. That was the majority of that. So, there you go. Go to the next mission, which is finally the bank. I kind of want to play this. We now have... Oh, my game's gonna freeze. We now have access to the EEV, which can be used to hack objects from a distance, but it's harder. If you walk up to a control panel or anything like that, or a keypad or anything, you know, specific to that, you can get this, it's a line game. It's sort of like Wave. If you ever played Among Us, where, I think it's the Mars map with the lava pool that you have to adjust the temperature. It's sort of like that. You have to extend the wavelength out the match. And then you have to use the up and down buttons to fix the pitch of it. You'll see it when I come to it. If you walk up to something and hack it directly, it's a lot easier than hacking it from a distance. I'm not good at this anymore, and my controller still has that dead zone problem, so we're gonna see how well that goes. I was also kind of stalling because
With still no word from
I wanted the
North
game to
Korean
reload.
government, China's Long Dan again urged all sides to come to the bargain.
Fisher, the arms that Lacerda had were
Pause
purchased
to
by
read
someone
this.
using a Panamanian offshore bank as proxy. I want to take a peek inside their records. Fortunately, it's not as simple as that.
I hit the bank's servers last night, but I didn't find much. All their workstations run drivers for plug-and-play hard drives. I'm guessing...
First, the good news. You've been in this bank before. You were part of a CIA raiding team that went in '89 looking for some of Noriega's drug money. Most of the intelligence we have on the bank actually comes from your team. The bad news is that we have a lot of physical security.
Look, I don't know who you are or why I'm helping you, other than it's better than staring at the ceiling of my cell. I hear you have to face some Mason Wells 88. Well, it ain't a one-man job, but they tell me you can do the work of 5 men. Fine, I says. I had your mate Willie make a little deposit for you. You'll be needing some things from a safety deposit box in the little vault that we can use to crack the main one.
More important thing there. Before the lasers, motion detectors, things like that are in the bank, mission context. You're going to have to go to a safety deposit box in a little vault to get into the main vault. If you actually look at these, they give you a lot more information than what you think you have.
We'll continue on our course for the Yellow Sea and send you back by helicopter to Panama City. I have no authorization to act inside Panamanian borders, so you'll be operating covertly out of the embassy. You and your partner will be on your own in Panama.
And then that's just lore. Go to your loadout. Redding's recommendation is actually what I would recommend you use on this particular mission. It gets stupid. If you do go the assault path, I don't know why you would in this particular map, and you'd probably need to respec. Stealth is generally the better option to go because you get a lot of non-lethal type of things, but Redding's recommendation gives you a lot more bullets and one less sticky in the airfoil round. The airfoil round you're not really gonna miss, but the sticky shocker, they have a lot of things that they can do that a lot of people don't realize. But I would definitely, if you're an assault guy, go Redding's recommendation at the bare minimum. Do not pick the assault package. Either go stealth or Redding's recommendation. I say Redding's recommendation is what everybody should use because of the increase in ammo. But I'm not going to spoil any of that for you. But I always stick stealth, because stealth is generally the way that I like to go. Do not use the assault pack on this. You're going to have a ridiculously hard time your first playthrough. And then the game crashes like usual, which is fine. As I mentioned before, when you are in transit between those different scenes and all of that, from the mission, you know, mission complete screen, when I hit the statistic buttons and eventually go to the next screen there, it takes me out of the game and then back in, which then puts me into the next scene. I was hoping waiting it out would let me continue along the mission, but I mean, it is what it is. I got pulled out as soon as I completed that mission, which as soon as you complete the mission, you can just load into the next mission anyways. Yeah, it kind of sucks, but I'm not trying to continuously, you know, go from mission to mission. I'll just start each mission off fresh. Whatever. But because it sent me back to desktop, all the other programs in Splinter Cell Chaos Theory goes wonky, and I end up crashing when I start a new mission. So as soon as you press start, it's going to try to load everything up. The controller and everything else wants to reconfigure itself, and it also does a little bit of a small take you out from game and put you back in. That desktop pops up for a second. So it's probably going to crash after each mission, which is fine. You know, I spent a decent amount of time on the boat. I got stuck at the same part I always do and all of that, so that probably took me, what, an hour and a half to complete it all. It's not particularly bad. Bank, I like the bank. I've played the bank so many times, I failed the bank so many times. And back then, I didn't really quick save that often as I do now. I quick save a lot often now because, well, the controller I have isn't reliable. And if I'm about ready to go through something and the controller missteps and I end up getting caught because of it, or something that I want to do I can't do because I'm limited by something, I want to be able to reload and retry it, especially if I'm talking or something like that, because nobody wants to see me go back to an autosave or go back to, you know, a checkpoint that, or back to the beginning of the map if the game doesn't save any type of autosaves or anything like that, which has had a glitch to do that. I'm pretty sure when the game first came out, if you tried to save in any type of way, it broke the autosave, and you literally had to save anytime you wanted a checkpoint. And then if you didn't save or anything like that, you know, the quick save on PC or save, then you can, if you die, it pulls up an autosave in a different area automatically. So it's kind of a fail safe. If you don't save, it saves you from restarting the mission. But if you do save, then the game's like, alright, they know they can save, you know, you're on your own sometimes. Might have been by design, but I think personally it was a glitch. Since I'm here, I'm going to bring up the Dead by Daylight creation reviews. Every day, generally around, sometimes it's 8 in the morning, sometimes it's 2 o'clock, so between 8 in the morning and 2 p.m., almost every day, unless something comes up, like a meeting, or I don't get my work done for the night, or something like that, I do Dead by Daylight creation reviews. I go to the actual Dead by Daylight website, go to the creations forum, and I go over a lot of different concepts. They are all user posted, user created perk ideas, killers, etc., that parts and pieces of them have actually been incorporated into Dead by Daylight as parts of different killers or old killers and things like that. So anybody that wants to get a say in the actual game, go to the Dead by Daylight actual website. I know the link is in my YouTube description, but I don't know about Twitch descriptions. So youtube.com, the Qtastic. Same as Twitch, except for without the underscore, I think, is in the Twitch name. And you can get the link to the Dead by Daylight creation forum. The alternative killers is what I'm trying to push. It has its own playlist, their own separate videos, things like that. I think only 3 of which I've reviewed so far have been like amazing concepts that can be worked upon to become something special. The alternative kill system, which I'm probably going to state in every video, is those of you that played Dead by Daylight back in the day, they used to use the offering system as you're leveling up other killers to give you a chance to play killers that you don't necessarily own, like Michael Myers and Pig and Bubba. And that system was pretty good. You know, you level up one of your killers to 50, you'll get, you know, at least 1 token to play, you know, as all of them. I think it's guaranteed 2, but if you're lucky, you can get 3 or even more. And it was a nice little thing, you know. I didn't have to buy the pig to play her, especially because she has a bad rep of being the worst killer in the game. So, you know, you could play the pig and see, you know, have a little test drive with her. Then sure, if it's something that would fit your particular playstyle. I want to revamp that system, but instead of using, you know, contractual content and things like that, I want to use other viewers' creations that you get tokens for as you're leveling up your main killer and doing things like that to try to kind of push people's ideas out there, but without having to make a new map and a new concept and a new chapter and design a whole bunch of other things, because Behavior as a company is working on another game. So trying to take all of that workload off of them, and or trying to have them include this alternative system into the new game that they're making. I do not know any information about the particular game that they're making, except for it's going to be on an updated engine. Nobody knows what it's going to be about. Some people say it's going to be a Dead by Daylight 2. Other people are saying that it's going to be a similar game to it. You know, kind of a killer like hide and seek style game. But it's going to be completely different. The only thing that I know is they're shooting for a AAA game. So it's going to be a AAA title made by Behavior. And they've been working on it for years now. In the background of creating things and still putting out content for Dead by Daylight. So, exciting news there. And what I'm trying to do is just kind of get some sort of, you know, influence in, you know, get one of them to notice and say, oh, well, this is a good idea. You don't necessarily have to, you know, include my methodologies or anything like that. Like, I'm not trying to, you know, do anything like that. I'm just trying to kind of open their minds to revolutionize, I cannot speak. Revolutionize, Jesus Christ, their game. You know, they're bringing in killers, things like that, but it's been, you know, a couple of years, and they haven't necessarily changed any of the methodologies of which killers and all of that are added into their system. And we have all kinds of other different kinds of ideas and things for that can be incorporated in Dead by Daylight. For instance, in hide and seek mode, where instead of doing generators, everybody just hides and the killer seeks. You play as the artist who can shoot birds throughout the map, and if they hit somebody, they create that crow effect, which shows where that person's running, or if they get near somebody, you can see the killer instinct. And essentially, it's just a hide and seek. You know, you still run pallets, you still run loops and things like that to try to survive and escape the killer, but, you know, it's a means to an end. Eventually, you're going to get down to the last person, or a time limit's going to run out. And there's been a lot of rules established in the background of, you know, you can only lock or hop for X amount of time before you're thrown out of it, and then block for X amount of time. You know, there's cooldowns and a whole bunch of other things that have been incorporated into this hide and seek type of concept. Some people want to try to do like a prop hunt thing, but I mean, there's already a game that's came out, I think it's called Prop Night, that kind of does that. People are like, first place, first person survivors and third person killers, and I'm like, Prop Night already exists, and you can see how well or how scuffed that is. Look at that game. But I mean, there's a lot of content and a lot of ideas that people have been talking about during the day, well, throughout the year, and it's nice to see them at least try to be incorporated in some way or somehow. Occasionally, you'll find that guy that was just had a salty game against the killer, and they'll jump onto the creations forum, and then they'll make what they feel like is an anti-tunneling survivor that's way too OP that the killer can't really keep up with. And I go through, and you know, and everybody else goes through, and it's kind of like, chill, guy. We understand you got tunneled, but don't take that anger and then throw it onto the forum. And they have active mods that, you know, if it's really bad, you know, they'll just come through and they'll sweep up and or move the post to another proper forum, you know. Somebody's angry about something and they're venting, you know. It's not necessarily a creation, even though you tried to make it into a form of creation. That can be swept up, edited, and then moved to their respective form. So, I like the forum. I like going through and seeing all the different ideas and things like that. And like I said, I am a reviewer by trade. Well, now I'm a reviewer by trade. I was before, but I always did everything privately. I've done like reviews for products and websites and things of that nature. Some things new, some things old and revamped, things like that. Like some of the newer things that I see that I've personally tested come out, and friends be like, oh man, I wonder if that stuff's good. And I'll be like, well man, it looks good. Because by contract, you can't just straight up and say, yeah man, I tested it, it was freaking amazing, they have all of this extra crap. Like, no, per contract, you can't talk about it. So I can just only hint like, yeah man, well, so-and-so on YouTube did a review about it. He said it was alright, man. It might be worth looking into, you know? But I can't just openly say, holy crap, it's amazing, dude. They have this, that, and that, or there's going to be issues. It is very hard to become a 4 out of 5 star reviewer like I have. Well, I'm 4 point something now, but actually, I think I finally got it up to 4.5. I will never be a 5-star reviewer, and let me tell you why. Because I don't kiss the actual people's butts. I will not sit there and compliment you non-stop and boost your ego, and then only say a couple of things is wrong with your product. If you hand something seriously and pay me to review it, I'm going to give you an honest-to-God full throttle review. If it's good, I will say that it's good. If it's trash, I will tell you that it is trash. It is that, point blank. And when I say, this concept on this page is really well designed, things like that, it's up to date, it's modern, etc., etc. That, but, actual review-wise. And I get to this other page and I'm like, this looks like this was made in like 1990s using Windows XP. There's not a lot of thought put into this. It needs to be reworked, redone, etc., etc. That's what they don't like. They were fine with me blowing smoke up their butts saying how good this one page was, but then I'm like, this next page, though, you can tell that it was done by two different people, and the person that did this second page needs to take an example from the first page. And, the feedback that I give, unfortunately, a board of people do review that, and then, they make their decisions based off that, and they kind of throw the fire at me. Upon further review, we've seen that this web page of this designer, of this person, needs to be reworked, it needs to be redone, or needs to be better, and all of that. And by the end of the day, because of the demeanor that I hold of not kissing butts but giving people informative information, gets me generally 4 stars. And as an example I used last time, I'll use the same example this time. I've had people have these huge, like, well thought out, super impressive website pages and things like that, and have, like, no mobile section, or, a simple section, or not connect a regular page back to the main page, or, not have anything connecting what they're talking about to where they want you to go, no links to that. And I say, hey, add this simple thing. And they're like, holy shit, you're a genius. How did we miss this? And I'm like, yeah. Generally, when you're engineering something and you're like over-engineering it and you're wanting it to be the best thing in the world, you tend to miss a couple of the basics. It happens. So, I mean, even the best can make simple mistakes. You can do something 1,000 times, but eventually you're going to make a simple mistake, or you're going to miss something here or there, or something's going to happen, and you're going to be like, man, somebody's going to walk over, and you're going to be proud of your work, thinking you've been putting out perfect products, and they're going to say, well, if you refine this, or if you do this instead of that, this will be a lot more cost effective, or this will be a lot more proficient, or you'll save money here or there, or something like that, and you'll look and you'll go, I thought it was perfect. I can't believe they just did this. They just rocked my world. I've been doing this for 20 years, and this person walks over and tells me one thing, and has changed my entire life. I've done this 1,000 times, or 1,000,000 times. And not once have I came up with this particular methodology. Which, that's evolution. If you wake up every day, go straight into the bathroom, use the bathroom, wash your hands, do whatever. Some people don't even wash their hands. And then you immediately go cook food for the day, then go in and wash your face and jump in the shower and do things that, this really jacked up order, but it works for you and you've been doing it for 10 years. And then somebody comes in and says, well, why don't you just prepare your food for the morning the day before, heat that shit up in the morning, and while it's heating up, go do the rest of your routines and everything. Then when you get done, eat the food. And people be like, oh, holy crap, I spent an hour of my morning making food, running back and forth and doing all this other stuff. Now doing the methodology that you did, I have an extra hour every morning. Now I can sleep in, an extra hour. Or wake up later, which gives you more sleep. They're feeling more energized, or they have time to actually, in the winter go out and warm up their car and things like that, or exercise, or they have extra time by just putting things in a specific order and reordering things. They're no longer late for work. If they wake up a little bit late, they have time for wiggle room, things like that. And then their schedules are fixed. The average person that's late to work every day, if it's not due to some, unforeseen circumstances or living conditions or something like that, generally if you're late a lot and there's nothing that's actually causing it, it's just your routine that's messed up. You're doing something, somewhere, somehow, and you just ain't, narrowed it down to what you're trying to do. Look within yourself, change the things you need to change. It ain't even got to be instant, because that's what most people are afraid of. It's instantaneous change. If you wake up every day, jump in the shower, and then begin your day doing other things, and you wake up, and next thing you know, the water's turned off, that instantaneous change is going to stress you out in some way, some shape, some form. Some people, it'll immediately break them down, because then they're thinking about, well, I'm going to be late for work now, and it's going to cause a bunch of other things, and if there's a point system or you're on your last little strike, it's going to create a lot of issues. Other people handle it well, and they're like, okay, I'll just go to my neighbor's house who I'm cool with and use their water, or if the entire neighborhood's water out, I'll just stop by somebody else's place, or, some other area, I'll just allocate my resources, or maybe, I took a shower before I went to bed last night. I necessarily don't really have to worry about it. I'll just go to work as is, and just kind of grin and bear it. When you go and try to commit a change, especially when it's something like losing weight or anything like that, you can't expect an instantaneous change. If you are, you're going to fail every time. You feel like you're overweight and you need to lose 20 pounds. Most people think that you can just drop off 20 pounds in a couple of days or a couple of weeks and just be like, yeah. I could, I lost 100 pounds in a month without any type of drugs or any of that craziness. But I woke up. Every morning that I woke up, I hopped in the shower, went down to the YMCA. I ran 6 5-minute miles on the elliptical. And then towards the end, I would run for an hour and 5-minute miles with only a 2-minute break in between. And I was running every single day. Never lost a day, never skipped a day. When I got done for the day, I would generally get something, like a shake or something. Well, not a shake, it was like a little, it's from Dairy Queen. They got those little, lemonade looking things. I would get one of those for some sugar, and then I adjusted my diet, and I was using a calorie counter. I was burning off a lot of calories, but I would limit my calories to the day to about 1,000 calories. And sometimes I didn't even eat the 1,000 calories. I had a very good metabolism. Keep in mind, this isn't going to work for everybody. It's just my body. And while I was running and, cooling off and, moving throughout the day, I never really felt hungry. Like when I get jobs and all of that, I generally don't tend to stop for lunch because I don't feel hungry until I'm back home and I'm finally relaxed and all of that. That was back in the day, back when I was a little bit younger, by the way. It's around when I was like 22, between that area. So I was really, up and moving non-stop every day. I put forth the effort because I joined the military and all of that. I went to basic training and yada, 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 yada. Besides the point. But I was hitting it every day, every day, every day, every day. And I ended up getting myself down to I think I was 200 pounds. No, I was 198. I had to be 198 to go. And then they wanted me to be down to 186. It doesn't matter if I'm a skeleton sitting there. My body, my skeletal frame, weighs more than 186. No, they wanted me to get down to 180. I got down to 186. It don't matter how many fluids or anything. I could be bone dry, shriveled up in the desert, laying in the sand. My body is going to weigh more than 180 pounds. When I was in the greatest shape of my life and I ran everywhere in high school, you know, I was really up there and very physically active and all of that. I still weighed 210 pounds. That's with very low body weight and all that. There's no way you're going to make me do push-ups, sit-ups, run, do all these other types of things and my body's going to stay at 180. It's not going to happen. The lowest I got was 186. And that's, yeah, let's not even go there. It wasn't great. It wasn't very great how I got that low. And I didn't stay that low. Very quickly went back up in weight. Essentially, stopped doing shit, starving, etc., etc. You know, the ways that you shouldn't get down in weight. But I mean, stupid things happen, stupid things are done, etc., etc. to try to get underweight. After that, figured out that, well, they really don't really check you anymore. I mean, you will get an APFT if you're really unlucky, yearly. Twice a year if you're trying to do anything that's, you know, hyper physical, maybe twice a year. But for the most part, us, is that if you're unlucky, you'll get one for the year, and that's just kind of like a governmental audit. So, I mean, you really don't have to really worry about staying in shape and being able to complete the APFT. It's not that big of a deal. But I guess I shouldn't say technically the ins and outs of things, but I mean, the military is it's weak nowadays. It's very, very weak. Especially depending upon which branch you go to. There's some areas of the military that stay strict. There's other areas of the military they treat you like they're their freaking parents. And not even the strict, like, butt-whooping parents. The parents that are like, now, Jimmy, you know that you're not supposed to do that. And then they slap your wrist. Don't do it again, man. This is your warning. And I'm like, bro, if I did that, man, I would be crying, screaming in pain, and then smoke the entirety of the day. Anytime that drill sergeant locked eyes with me, he would just be like, do push-ups. Like, he is absolutely positively just disappointed in me and my entire being. So you go throughout the day literally keeping your head down. He'd be looking around and all of that, just looking for me. I'd be like, nope. I'd look down, look to the left, look to the right. As long as I wasn't in a position of attention or, you know, parade rest or anything like that, I'd be all kinds of all of that. If we were in formation, he would walk by, I'd look some other way. Nope. So I know what's going to happen, bro. Nope. And then I had a particular female drill sergeant that had it in for me. First day, very first day, she walked up to my face, looked me in my eyes, and she said, I'm not letting you pass basic training. For no reason. Well, I mean, I know the reason, because everybody thought I was this soft bitch because people go off looks, as opposed to, you know, what you can actually do. I've been underestimated my entire life because I was generally, you know, the quiet kid. that didn't really say much, that just kind of let shit happen, so people thought I was just some sort of gooey pushover. Then they would try to push me, and I would push back. And then I would push harder, and then I would overwhelm them and maul them. And then they'd figure out that, hey, don't mess with the quiet kid, and then they would go about their way. I was, for those of you who don't know, I was that quiet kid. Although I was a smart quiet kid, but I was the quiet kid that everybody thought was going to shoot up the school. They were just waiting on the day that I was going to come in one day and just start blasting back then. Everybody thought it was just a matter of time. I fortunately had teachers back then that actually cared about me. I had a very good line of support. One teacher, because I couldn't see for crap. So I would be squinting and doing all kinds of other things, and I joined the auto shop class for my junior and senior year. Because what happened is, most of my friends, except for one, failed and had to go to summer school. And we were all like, well, fuck it. If it's summer school, how about we all just meet up there? And after we all get done with summer school, we will just hang out from there. Thing about it is, I passed all my subjects. But I still went to summer school, so I just did classes that were, of the next grade and just started building credits. Tell me by the end of summer school, where they were just catching up on their credits, I was already almost finished with the next year of schooling and had all the credits and all of that for it. I was like, what do you mean? We have to go to school an entire year, and then over the course of 2 months, I essentially knocked out the next grade worth of math and all of that. And I mean, they were kind of slow too when they were doing their, especially one guy, he was real slow when doing his modules. So we would hop in, I would do all the work that I could do for the day, because they did limit you, so you didn't just, complete an entire school curriculum in one summer school session. And with those extra credits, I mean, came back and helped me, because the next year when I was able to select electives and things like that, I was able to select a lot more classes and a lot more things that I could do because, I had extra credits. I got accepted into college early. All kinds of other things happened because I went to summer school and actually, supplemented my lifestyle. I was just doing it because I was bored and waiting on my dumbass friends to get out of summer school. But it ended up working. It's one of the decisions, I made for myself that increased, my lifestyle. No teacher taught me this. No nothing taught me this. I just did it. And I did it for a dumb reason, and it helped. Teachers actually told you, how to apply yourself. It makes the rest of your high school career where you can actually fuck around and not have to worry about it. You can get accepted into whatever college, whatever, earlier because you'll have all the requirements for it earlier, which lets you apply earlier. So instead of being part of the rush of applications that colleges get, you're going to be an early application so they can sit down, review, have somebody come down and talk to you if need be, give you your interview, and they can have their, entire, attention on you. And if they say, your application, or as you are now, you're not good enough, guess what? The guy that does the application reviews and crap are sitting right in front of you. You can then ask them, what do I need to do to improve myself? And you can take that time to improve yourself to get into that college. And then there you go. And that summer school experience was fun, because they sat us all in one room and we all just fucked around while doing assignments for the most part. Towards the end, the teacher there fucked up because we thought we had to sit there, school. You go in from, X amount of time to Y amount of time, then you leave. We come in, I'm finished with my assignments for the day and all that, and they're still working on those. The teacher's like, you guys don't have to stay here the entirety of the day. And we're like, what do you mean? She's like, as long as you are getting your modules done, you don't have to stay here the entire day working on them and taking time like that. You can leave whenever you want. After she said that, she ruined everybody there. We literally all go in, everybody would smash out like a module or two, and then we would dip. She ruined it. Everybody was in there being serious, catching up on work. She opened her mouth. We all said, nah. She was the guidance counselor, too. She was the one in charge of the summer school, so good job, guidance counselor. I think her last name was like Stinson. But anyway. She walked in and said, you guys don't have to stay here the entire day. You really don't need to work that hard, etc., etc. You can leave whenever you want. Soon as she said we could leave whenever we want, that was the end of that. See ya. We're going to come in, we're going to do 2 modules, we're going to leave. Instead of getting everything done as we would and being ahead of schedule and all of that. I mean, maybe she said it so we would spend less time there and not keep getting our work done, so she would have, a job for the summer to get paid for. Because if everybody finishes, that's the end of it. No more pay for her. So maybe she did it for herself. I don't know. After that, I mean, we stayed. Well, I didn't say we. I was already ahead. They stayed ahead of things for the most part, and it didn't really bother me because I was getting my stuff done within the first couple of hours anyway that I could do for the day. So it just meant whenever I finished what I was doing, they would typically just kind of, be done with what they were doing, and then we would all dip. And then we would, do teenage things, drive around, being dumb, go different places, do different things, hang out, different houses. They were stoners and things like that, but I never dabbled in drugs as a kid. Definitely not. And everybody's like, oh, well, your parents raised you right. That's why you weren't on drugs or anything like that. No. All the main decisions of my life that I've made have been made by me, and there have been no influence of how I was raised or anything like that. I guess you could say I'm kind of the exception for that case. Everything that I made decision-wise, or they weren't made by parents, they were made by, or what my parents bestowed upon me, they were made by me and my life experiences. I seen what happened when my friends were on drugs and, smoking weed and doing all this other kinds of shit. All the stupid shit and all the trouble and how stupid they were becoming and how they were ruining their lives by getting high all the time. So remember, back then, weed was cheap. Like really, really dirt-ass cheap. You can get a hold of that shit easily. So, yeah, you just had dumb high school kids getting high and doing stupid shit all the time. I would go around and hang out. So they would smoke, do whatever. I'd be playing and doing all kinds of other shit. Like, I would participate in the activity that they were doing, but I wouldn't participate in the drugs. So if we were playing cards and they were getting high, I would be sitting there playing cards, and they would be getting high. They had the respect to, keep that shit away from me. They weren't hotboxing or anything like that, Windows were open, ventilation, etc., etc., fans were on. So I never got any type of secondhand high or anything like that. Heck, half the time I didn't even smell it, believe it or not. Well, I mean, you smell it, but I mean, you don't smell it. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't all up in there where you get pissed because you're stuck smelling a smell that you don't like the smell. It wasn't that bad. They even use, the old vacuum tag. They'd go to the bathrooms and shit like that if they felt like hotboxing it and things of that nature. And we just lived out teenage life. It was fun. Would I ever do it again? Absolutely not. But it was fun while it lasted, etc., etc., and so on and so forth. Teenager life. And that way, I managed to improve my life, but I also turned the improving my life experience to a fun experience. It's why you see the group of nerds that everybody wants to make fun of hanging out together. Yeah, they're doing their homework and doing all kinds of other shit together, but they're also probably fucking around in the back playing, I don't know, Dungeons and Dragons or whatever the fuck else stereotypical nerds do. My group was the group of outcasts. Anybody who didn't belong in a particular group or was having a hard time or anything like that, who didn't really want to be part of a clique, came over and sat with our group. As long as you didn't take my chair or, somebody else's particular chair, there wasn't any issues. Just pull up a chair, sit down. Anybody was welcome. Of course, all the other, preppy groups and things like that generally would avoid us. I mean, there were some that, came over every once in a while and talked to their other preppy friends and things like that were at our table, but, we were just kind of the neutral zone. If you weren't feeling yourself or you were having a bad day with your group or something happened, you come chill with us. We would do our thing, have our fun talks, things like that, have a good time, fuck around, and then leave for the day. You don't see that a lot at schools. Generally, the outcasts are mixed and thrown into different types of groups, and they're kind of just ass kissing just to stay in said groups. Our particular generation in our school was just like, I don't know, we all just magnetized to a particular area on like the outskirts, like the farther in on the cafeteria, and we were just like, sitting in the back area of the cafeteria, just all chilling. People that wanted that chill life would come over every once in a while and, have a decent time. People that didn't want that chill life and wanted to stay with their own niche, their own clique, or whatever you want to call it, stayed with them. And it just worked. And we communicated with every other different type of group, The actual, outcasts and the goths and the preps and the geeks and all of that. We communicated with every other group. We were essentially just neutral. It was a very weird group to have, but I mean, it was a very nice group to have. But, I'm gonna stop here, because I know I'm boring people if they are even here listening, because I don't have access to my chat. I guess I could have pulled it up manually at this point, but, it is what it is. If anybody stopped by, as I'm always gonna say, because I typically didn't have the choice throughout my life to do it, so I hope you guys will take the time to do it. Even now, if you're out of school, you're at a job, you've been working at this job for 50 years or something like that, you too, and everybody else, still have that option to supplement your lifestyle. Remember that. Live by that. Know that you can do that. And I'll see you next time.